This is Chris Hargraves, and welcome to the Tips for Lawyers podcast, episode 37. It's just a shorter podcast today. I really just wanted to ask you one question. To the extent you need them, the show notes are in the usual place at tipsforlawyers.com/podcast/37. And really, I just wanted to put to you this question today, which is, why? Why do you want to be a lawyer? Why do you want to work in this environment? Why do you want to endure sometimes the legal profession? And it really is a fundamental starting point for young lawyers to ask, and many of them haven't asked it. What has happened is you've decided to go to law school, you've gotten through your studies, you get admitted as a lawyer because that's simply what's next. By that stage, of course, you have a fairly significant debt to your name because you've got student loans. If your university wasn't paid for you, then you have to repay that at some point. And of course, you need to go and get a job, and that in itself in the moment can be pretty stressful. So why did you want to be a lawyer in the first place? Often people change, of course, over the years what their answer to that question is, but I thought it would be useful to put it to you specifically. And if you do have a good why, shoot me an email at chris@tipsforlawyers.com, because I'll be interested to know exactly what it was that got you into law in the first place, but also why you continue to be a lawyer, because I do wonder whether those things have changed. I'll give you a couple of examples. A lot of people got into law in the first place simply because their parents were lawyers. A lot of people got into law in the first place because they thought it paid well. A lot of people got into law in the first place because they thought they were good at arguing, and that's what being a lawyer was all about. Now, of course, most of those aren't very good reasons to actually become a lawyer, in my humble opinion, because they're not going to sustain you. Those things are not going to sustain you through a 20, 30, 40-year career. So what people often find is that their why changes from time to time. Some people end up working only so that they can earn the money to live the lifestyle that they have designed around themselves. And that is why they stay in the law. Some people stay in the law because they enjoy working in a firm with a team. Some people stay in the law because they enjoy genuinely helping clients get through issues. Some people stay in the law because of the prestige or because they want to become a judge. And others, which is probably where I fall, I guess, enjoy problem solving. We enjoy actually getting into the detail, analysing facts, drawing various tendrils together and coming up with a solution to a problem. And of course, those are all fundamentally different things. And so I just wanted to ask you why. Why is it that you, in fact, wanted to become a lawyer in the first place, and why do you do it now? If you can't answer that question, you need to go and spend some time so that you can answer that question, because in a profession that is rife with mental difficulties and substance abuse problems and people getting stressed beyond belief and people quitting and people having nervous breakdowns and generally finding their jobs unsatisfactory, a big part of the fundamental level cause for some of those things is that they never ask themselves why they were here in the first place. Because if you don't know why you're here, how can you possibly know whether you're living a fulfilled career? Because working can be fulfilling, even in the law. I know that may come as a surprise to some of you, but it needs to align with your why. And if it doesn't, then maybe you need to change the way you practice. Maybe you need to change the area in which you practice. Maybe you need to rethink your why, because sometimes the why just doesn't cut it, or you're lying to yourself about the real reason that you're in the law. But if your habits in practice are not aligned with the reason that you were in practice in the first place, then you're going to find it an eminently frustrating career all the way along, and frankly, you're not going to enjoy it very much. And I would very much like you to enjoy your legal careers, so think about why. Shoot me that email, chris@tipsforlawyers.com, and like I said, this was a shorter episode. I just wanted to ask that question, and that's all I had for today.